ethanol processing plant in Jefferson County is temporarily closed while crews investigate what started a 5-alarm fire there earlier today. Now, the fire started at a dryer at Aztalan Bio between Jefferson and Johnson Creek. Aztalan CEO says no one was hurt. They also don't know the cause of that fire, but say there's no danger or other impact to the environment. The plant is shut down while the cleanup and investigation continues. 15 Investigates wanted to learn more about the business, Aztalan Bio LLC. We looked at records from the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA. Now, that data shows 2 months ago, the business paid a fine of more than $9,000 for what OSHA calls a serious safety violation. The plant was cited for not having proper protective equipment for employees and for improper handling of potentially hazardous materials when an employee suffered thermal burns at work. OSHA started investigating in November of last year and closed the case back in August.